what we're going to do is start breaking these concretes down, start building it back up. Right, so here's our 2 ton bags. Already started digging, massive hole in this one already, so hopefully probably take about half an hour, maybe 45 to get this done. But yeah, I'll continue on, fill this. But this is actually being built on a slope. So if you look here, we are underneath ground level, so our top of our boiler is underneath ground level. But over here, we are well above by about 20 centimeters or so. So what I've done to make sure that we've got enough support before, I've dug a trench so we're even deeper under the ground. So what we can now do is start backfilling this with the sub base. But we filled these 2 bags basically from this trench alone. This trench sits about 30 centimeters below where the top of the board is. So what I'll do, I'll get my trusty tape measure. So where we are now 33 centimeters below the top of the board. So that means that we can put a good 10 to 15 centimeters of sub base, and then the rest of concrete. What I want to do is make sure this structure is solid as possible, because we're not putting timber joists, so effectively the whole frame is going to be sitting on the outer perimeter of the building and not on the joist where it will probably get a more even spread. Reason I'm doing that is because it will give me additional headroom, save me on a couple of centimeters headroom internally, so we have a deeper depth. So what we need to do is make sure that more so than the middle, I mean effectively we wouldn't really need anything in the middle, only just to support the floor, but we need the outer perimeter to be as solid as possible. So I'm just going to finish off digging this trench. As you can see, I've got a little bit more to pull out there and a little bit more here. This is now 40 centimeters, so it's a lot deeper. Normally you want about 25, so we've added an additional 15 centimeters to compact the hardcore below level, and then we can build up the concrete. So normally the hardcore you want about 50 mil of hardcore, and then about 25 centimeters 250 mil of concrete. There's many different ways of doing this. So what some people do is just build the hardcore up to say about 25 centimeters in, and then purely have concrete on the outer level right down from the footing. But we're going to be doing it with a hardcore base, so we'll pack that down, get that nice compacted down, and then we can put the concrete directly on top. So that footing goes pretty much all the way around the outer perimeter of this shallow section. We have now fully compacted the hardcore sub base. Really happy with it. Timbers appear to be relatively straight, but what we'll do is we'll give it another check. So I've got some helpers with me today. As you can see, now put the sand base down. Really thin layer is literally just to get rid of the sharp points. I mean, as you can see, it's barely nothing there. It's mainly on the outer perimeter where it's more likely to puncture the damp proof. So we've actually only used 6 of the 10 bags, and this is quite a large space, so it's 3 by 4.5. So if your room is that size, then you know, I'd probably say 7 bags would be perfectly adequate. So I'm literally going to put 1 more bag just to keep the layer nice and thin, and just cover up the minor sections. So yeah, it is coming along. Once this is complete, we can then put the DPM down and then the concrete on top. They'll just sit across there. Once the membrane's in and the concrete is laid, we'll just switch those, turn them, push them down, get them shaking into place and leave it to set. and we'll know we're good to go. Pull them out when we're done. Right, so concrete pours here. The guy is trying to get down the back. If he can, then brilliant, he can pull straight up, pour it straight in, be absolutely beautiful. If not, I'm gonna have to wheelbarrow it, and that is gonna take a considerably longer time. So well and truly, we're really hoping he can just pour it straight in. That'll just be beautiful. So you'll soon see whether that's the case or not. So basically, pretty annoyed. So ordered some cement from Cemex, and I needed 1.5 cubic meters, so I ordered 1.6, and it is way under. So literally have to use about, I think, 6 bags of sand, 3 bags of concrete, and still under. So I'm having to go and get some more ballast and stuff to bring the level up. We're about an inch under, so pretty frustrated about that, because obviously I expect to just get it mixed in and leave it to set, but that's not happening right now. So yeah, called in some of my neighbours who are just really helpful, and thankfully they're just sort of helping me get the line back up and getting mixed and everything. But such is life, we'll keep it moving. So we're now finished. Took way longer than I wanted to or expected to. The time is now 4 o'clock, and this got poured at about 12:30 ish. So yeah, 3.5 hours. But yeah, we're done, and we are where we are. Anyway, let's crack on. So we'll leave this to set. Hopefully it doesn't rain in the next 3 days, 2-3 days, but it should pretty much be okay by tomorrow midday. But we won't walk on it for about three or 4 days. Just leave it to cure properly. So I'll kind of just shut the back off. Right, so the concrete is now set. We are 2 days later, so left it all day yesterday. We're still going to leave it to keep curing, but we can walk on it now, which is great. So we'll leave it to cure a bit more, but we can start taking these out. And there you go. Got our anchor bolt nice and solid in. So when we put our timbers on, we can bolt them straight on. Next stage of the process is to put some gravel. So this is 20mm gravel, which we are going to install around the outer perimeter. And what this is for is to assist with the drainage as we start to build back up. What we'll do is we'll put it in while the framing is still in place, which is not a problem. Then we can remove the framing, and then what it do is allow this DPM to kind of stay facing up, because what we'll do is when we put the walls over, we will effectively put it over this so the DPM remains in place up, so the whatever moisture comes down the side is not going to permeate and saturate the concrete, so we'll know that it will stay relatively dry. We've put the weed membrane down, and then we've backfilled with 20mm gravel. We've done that all around the perimeter except for that side, which is sitting quite low. I've got quite a bit of work to do. Now, I've not done it too deep, because what we'll be doing is doing an overhang on the OSB boards, which will go down the side to prevent water coming back up. And then once we've done that, then we'll put some more, so we'll just tip it over the fence, but at least we've got our weed mat down. So I just need to give it all a sweep off really, but we've put it in down the side here as well, and we've taken out the framing, so the framing is now gone. And with the gravel down the side, it helps just keep the DPM kind of sitting upright, so when we put our board over, it will sort of clamp on and pull that DPM to the side of the building. So at least that's the theory and the plan. Whether it goes like that, we'll soon find out, but